Modernism and its Aftermath. Although the field store is considered proto-modern, proto means first in Greek, we can see that it has an antecedent in the Bristol store with its tiers of arches, simple, rugged masonry, and rhythmic multiplication of the arcades. Although a half-century apart, both tall office buildings have a lightweight enclosure with a large amount of glass. The Reliance Building's materials are white glazed terracotta and glass, while the Seagrams are bronze and glass. Both appear to be lifted off the ground. Continuity of form and structure are hallmarks of modernism. These two buildings both derive from the Art Nouveau period, in that they reject classical ornament in favor of sinuous, curvilinear, naturalistic form. The Brussels example employs a glass and iron curtain wall with a continuous structure inside, while the Barcelona apartment building uses stone. It has the plasticity of concrete, doesn't it? To form the serpentine outline of the plan. The earlier house employs a hybrid design. It looks back to the symmetrical main elevation of colonial and Federal-era American houses with their center entrances, and at the same time employs innovative features, such as the shallow, broadly projecting roof, the dark terracotta frieze containing the second-story windows, which makes the roof appear to float above the main volume. The innovativeness is fully expressed in the Roby House, with its continuous ribbons of windows, dramatic overhangs, asymmetry, and hidden ground-level entrance. Both designs here employ modern industrial vocabularies. In the factory, the glass and steel curtain wall envelops the corner stairways, and the columns are pulled away from the corners. In the famous Bauhaus design, it was a school. Although the columns do occupy the corners, the curtain wall is fully expressed as a lightweight membrane, providing in addition a texture when opened. Fallingwater is one of Wright's most famous houses. The client requested a view of the waterfall, but the architect pronounced that he would build it on the waterfall. The wood and stucco cantilevered balconies of the Gale House prefigure those of Fallingwater, which were built from steel-reinforced concrete. The church is made from poured-in-place concrete, which is poured in a liquid state into waxed wood forms. Then it cures as it dries and hardens. The Paris church follows a more traditional basilican plan, but with that new material. The Ronchamp chapel, however, has no straight lines, and the concrete shell of the roof is slightly detached from the stucco enclosure of the space. The Villa Savoye epitomizes the international style, with its abolition of ornament, plainer stucco enclosure, horizontal ribbons of windows, elevation of the main volume by what the architect called pilotis, and rooftop terraces. In what ways does the 1991 house refer to the villa? The two towers are similar in scale and their curved surfaces, but differ in structure. The Johnson Tower has a concrete core not unlike a tree trunk, in that the vertical structure is in the center and the floor slabs branch out or cantilever from it. Although the Einstein Tower looks like poured-in-place concrete, the technology wasn't sufficiently advanced to realize that material. So, the structure is a more conventional steel with a stucco enclosure. Two glass and steel houses, both consisting of one open space, except for the enclosed bathrooms. The wall has become a window, and that window is the lightest of screens, separating inside from outside. What aspects differentiate them, however? Both the modern and ancient buildings feature domes. The dome in the ancient example is a concrete shell, while the modern example has interwoven concrete ribs. Both have an oculus at the summit of the dome. Expressionism is the style classification used to describe these two buildings. The TWA terminal employs the visual metaphor of a bird in flight, while the Opera House has shells that may represent the idea of echoing sound waves. Having begun with a department store, we'll end with two more. Both have high percentages of glass and deeply suppressed windows, emphasizing horizontal tiers. Both feature corner cylinders, one for the entrance and the other containing the stairs. All that relates these two buildings is their type. Otherwise, their architecture contains numerous contrasts. The best store is a brick box with a corner that deconstructs, sliding out in the morning to allow customers in and closing back up at the end of the business day.